sequence, a level 1 classical mat sequence. So we'll be looking at adding a bit of a warm-up, doing fewer exercises, probably the easier exercises, and maybe doing a few more reps or taking it a little bit slower so people get a chance to work through those exercises. In any case, we want to get a little bit of a flow. This is going to be for you guys to get into your practice and prepare your body for the later weeks, but also for maybe any clients who have healthy bodies, who have a little bit of experience with Pilates, so you know they don't have any big contraindications, healthy spine, and if they do have contraindications, you know how to ask them to modify. So let's get started. We'll just take a few spine curls to start. So just come onto your mat, take your arms down by your side, and take a moment just to ground yourself on your mat and make sure you're not anticipating the work anywhere in your body. So feel the weight evenly across the feet, and this is really important, across the ball, little toe and heel of the foot. Have a little look up, make sure your knees are level, so the feet are equal distance away from each sit bone. Feel the pelvis nice and heavy, and let's just all take a little tilt of the belly button in towards the spine, a little north tilt and release, and then a little really gentle south tilt and release, and maybe a little east to west tilt as well. And just see where your body is today, and making sure the front of the thighs are relaxed, possibly pressing the thigh bones away from the pelvis to create a little bit of physical space there. Feeling the weight of the bones on the mat. So that imagine you don't have any muscles or skin, just let the bones just drop down onto the mat. And then just take a few breaths into the side and back of the lungs, and exhaling, allowing the ribs to close, the lungs to empty, the navel to draw in towards the spine, draw of the abdominal wall in towards the spine. And again, breathing in nice and wide, relaxed in the jaw, relaxed in the neck, long through the crown of the head, and heavy bones as you exhale. Just let everything release and relax. And now we'll start to add our spine curls in towards that. So reach your fingertips towards your heels, breathe in. As you exhale, tilt the tailbone underneath, wheel the spine, sending the knees forward and away. The arms are pressing down, the knees are reaching forward, breathe in, and breathe out, roll the spine down. I've got a terrible cramp. I'm going to do that again, see if I can do that without any cramp. So just in your own time, breathing in. And know that on different days, your body's going to feel different. You might get little strange things happening. It's just your way of your body communicating. So maybe have a little listen up and then roll down. So we're just going to do about 4 or 5 spine curls in your own time. Rolling the spine up, breathing in, and breathing out to roll back down. Think of chest expansion when you do this. So on the reformer, if you know that, or some of the other equipment, your arms are pressing down and away as you roll up, and breathe in nice and wide to the chest, and then articulate and let the spine drop down like heavy links of a chain. And again, rolling up, breathing in, rolling down, working through the spine. Again, really important not to go on autopilot. Every time you hit the mat, just see if you can tune in a little bit deeper. Roll the spine back down. And then this time, we'll stay up there in our bridge. So go ahead and roll up, knees reaching away. Make sure the energy's not dropping back, it's reaching forward. And then we'll just take some little marches of the feet, just to wake up through the back of the legs. Couple more each side. Trying to keep nice and still across the hips. Reach. Let's take the arms back. Let the shoulders rise, just stretch, and then just melt the spine down. Arms reaching one way, spine reaching another way, ribs stretching, diaphragm stretching, roll the way down. Great. And then you can either keep your arms in a high V, maybe holding on to pegs if you've got them, or in a low V. I'm just going to keep my arms up for now. Just take a little inhale, stretch. Exhale, wheel back to center. Inhale, stretch, and exhale, and roll back to center. Feeling how your body is today. I'm feeling definitely different tension through my left and right side of the body. So that little bit of awareness, that reason we got this little warm up is just to see how your body is today, apart from the fact that we're going to be gently mobilizing and warming the body. Hopefully all that really happens as we're doing our mat work. So this is just a little cheeky extra bonus for you, to give you a chance to get a bit of a head start and to make sure that when you're working today, it's completely consciously. And rolling back. Great, and then let's just take the hands behind the head, lift the elbows up. Let's just take a little upper back stretch. And roll back down. Keep the hips totally relaxed. Let them have a complete release as you just stretch the upper back and roll back down. And just take a couple more. As you roll up, allow the abdominal wall to sink down towards the spine. And as you roll back down, lengthen a little bit longer. Let's just take a couple more. Rolling up and rolling down. One more time. Wheel the spine up, hold it there. Take your arms alongside your body. Inhale. Exhale, curl a little higher. Now keep the tummy in, take the hands behind the head, and then press the head into the hands as you roll back down. This is a favourite of mine to warm up with because I tend to get a little bit tight across my mid-back. And this gives me a chance just to sort of iron out the kinks, to work through that upper back, to fire up my abdominals a little bit, which are going to really help with the rest of my mat work. And again, curling up, reach. So my spine is long as I curl up. I'm thinking of pressing the back of my head in the opposite direction as I curl my abs up. So we're really getting a long curve of the spine. Hands behind the head, trying to keep the tummy in, which is easier to do when you're not talking. And one more time. Great, let's just do a couple of oblique curls. Why not? Just to get those obliques on board. Exhaling to rotate. Again, I'm just keeping my hips completely still. I tend to sort of overwork my legs, my hip flexors. And so for me, when I'm warming up, it's quite nice to just kind of let those take a little break so I can kind of remind my body of the muscles that I'm going to be requiring to work a little bit more. And this is, again, really nice for me. I'm getting to find out like how my back's feeling as I'm rotating. So although I'm using my abdominals, really it's feedback to tell me if I've got tightness through my back as I do this. Let's just take one more to each side. I'm not cueing the breath, but hopefully you're breathing evenly in and out, nice and slowly, as Pilates would always cue. Well, for most of the exercise, slow inhale and slow exhale. Okay, so let's just start with the arms out long and just take a little flexing point. You can have your legs parallel. I've got mine in a turn-out position, so just a little flexing point just to wake up the feet, wake up the legs a little bit. Great. And leave the feet softly pointed. We'll all come into a turn-out now. So the heels together, the toes apart, the legs long. Reach your arms behind you, soften your ribs, and reach from your fingertips to your toe tips. We're going to go into the 100. We're going to leave the legs down to start. Lifting the arms, lifting the head, squeeze those legs together and beat. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So keep going with the beat of the arms. Now really reach your legs long, as though you were standing on the wall in front of you with your legs. Making sure you're keeping the upper body still. Full inhales, full exhales, really empty the lungs. Keep going with that. And just leave one leg down and lift the other leg up as you continue beating the arms, breathing in for 5, and out for 5. Place that leg down. Press it onto the floor as you lift the other leg up. Try not to let the hips tilt or pivot, keeping them square and long. And you might feel like I do that I have to really work the one leg more than the other. Place them both back down. Keep beating the arms. Let's lift both legs. Keep them down if you need to for the last 10 beats. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 5. And again. And reach. Great. Still the arms. Lower the legs. Lower the head. Flex the feet. My legs are in parallel now. I'm going to reach my heels forward as I take my arms back. Soften the ribs, scoop the tummy. Let's lift the arms first, then lift the head. We're going to take a few roll-ups. Now try to keep the legs still as you stretch up and over your legs. Exhale everything. Inhale to wheel the spine down, articulating, and reach away. So every time you do this exercise, I'm going to be asking you to see if you can create a little bit more space in the body. By that I mean space between the vertebrae, space in the back of the ribs by breathing, space in the lower back with the deep stretch forward. And take your arms wherever you need to for this. Maybe you need to have them behind your legs to help you roll up. Maybe you can keep them up by your arms if you're feeling good and you've got the roll up nailed. Either way, we're working with both of the legs pressing towards each other. So it's like one leg here. The feet are strongly flexed. And we're articulating the spine. If you find a sticky area, an area that's particularly challenging for you, that you feel like you're maybe skipping through, then stop. Maybe you'll do your little ironing out the kinks there. Maybe it feels amazing to take your stretch forward and hold it and stretch a little deeper and further. Bending the spine all the way down. Make your way down on your last one. So you're going to keep one leg down. Flex that foot. Fold the other leg up. And let's just keep the knee bent for now. Just a couple of circles just to mobilize the hip. So really just letting that leg move around, nice and juicy in the hip, not restricting the movement too much. Great. Now we're going to straighten that leg. Slightly spiral the leg that's on the mat inwards. So you've got the inside thigh working as well as the back of the leg. Now you've either got your arms back in your handles, which is great because you can reach them back and feel the opposition there, or you've got your arms pressing down by your side. Either way, pull your abdominal wall down into the mat and feel your leg reach up in opposition. Take the leg across your body. You're going to keep the hips down today. Circle down, around and up. Inhale and exhale, circle and up. Inhale, exhale, circle and up. And again, we've got 2 more in this direction. As the right leg moves, try to make sure you keep spiraling that left leg in slightly so it doesn't move. Now reverse your circles. Stop in the middle by pulling your abdominal wall in. Great. And as you do that, reach the leg up towards the ceiling. So you've got that nice strong pow in the middle. And again, we're doing 5. I think that's 5. Take that leg down. We're bending the leg down today, so we're just at our level 1. We're going to take a few nice juicy hip circles with that leg bent. Just mobilize, not restricting. Nice happy hip here and the other way. Just enjoy that. Moving around with the hip bone in the hip socket. Right, fun and games over. Now we're going to think about the standing leg. Spiral slightly inwards. Feel the leg pressing downwards. Draw the tummy in. If you do have your head up, check that you haven't shortened on either side of the waist. Long waist. Arms either in your handles or down by your side. Reach the leg up. Wherever your arms are, they're active. They're actively reaching. You can slightly turn that straight leg out if that's better for you. Either way, take the leg across as far as you can. Feel the inside thigh. Circle down, around and stop. Inhale, exhale and stop. Good. Now, we're thinking of stabilizing the body, 1 with our breath, but 2 by letting the body pull in opposite directions the whole time. Really long. trying to make a nice even circle. When you've done your 5 circles, you're going to reverse. So I can notice straight away this leg, for me, which is much tighter, it's really circle. It's doing more like weird 50Ps. So I've got to get my brain on board to talk to that leg and circle it all around. Great, when you've done your 5, bend that leg in and slide it down. Let's take a roll up to find ourselves at the top of our mat. Take a nice stretch forward and then slide the legs in. Okay, we're going to go for rolling like a ball. And I want you to take hold of your shins, the knees are apart, the feet are together, point the feet, and try and pull yourself into quite a small ball. And then from there, we're going to inhale back, exhale forward, inhale back, exhale forward, and again. Pressing the legs out into the hands, keeping the head tucked in, massaging the spine, inhaling, exhaling. Let's just go 2 more. Again, think about these sticky areas of your spine. What you need to do to work through those a little more. And we'll pause at the top and we're going to go into our single leg stretch. So let's just take that position first of all. Double check both sides of your waist along. Double check you're curled from the upper back and not just your head or your shoulders, but it's actually your spine that's in flexion. Now think of the tailbone anchoring down and suck that navel deep in towards the spine. So as though you were doing your north tilt of the pelvis, but you're keeping the tailbone down in opposition. Super, super active. Okay, for our single leg stretch, pull one leg in and reach the other leg away. We're going to give it a good pulse, switch, switch. So the elbows are wide, so that means that it's not restricting the breath. The abdominals are really secure, so that means my back's staying still, and I'm trying to work my legs evenly away from me and evenly towards me. So with any discrepancy between your right and left side, this is a chance for your brain to really tune in and try to mirror a really good tracking, a really good stable center. Good. Last one each side. And because we're trying to build stamina and we're trying to kind of progress through the weeks, keep your head up if you can. And then from there, we'll go into our double leg stretch. And I want you to pull your legs in, let your head relax, let your neck relax. Yeah, you've got yourself with your arms. Fine if your tailbone lifts a little bit, but keep the tummy drawn in. And like a jack in the box, you're gonna reach, hold for a split second, and circle, pull in. And again, inhale. And exhale to pull through the water. So it's like a glorious day. You're lengthening, you're lifting, and you're reaching and pulling everything back in. Good, trying to breathe in and out of the nose if you can. And one more time. Big circle, up and around. Obviously, as we're taking our arms and legs away, we're looking to not bridge, and we're looking to really keep those abdominals in. Just rest the head down for a second. Make sure your collarbones are nice and wide, and let your head roll to one side, back to center, and to the other side. Perfect. Right, let's come up to sitting. Let's look at our spine stretch forward. So sitting with the axial spine lengthening towards the ceiling, the sit bones dropping down towards the floor. So if I imagine my pelvis and everything from there going down, I'm really thinking of my ribs and everything from there going up. Flex your feet, take them as wide, or a little bit wider than your mat. Let's take the arms forward today so we can try and keep the spine nice and long. Breathe in and then exhale, lengthen through the back of the neck, the upper back, the middle back, the lower back. Now push through your heels and pull your tummy back at the same time. Breathe everything out. Inhale, restack the spine. Taller, 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 shoulders down, lift the chest. And exhale. When you think you can't breathe out anymore, keep breathing out. And then really stack the spine. And really fill yourself with air. You should really need that air by that point. And again, keep the feet flexed, keep the feet active, and look for an even roll of the spine forward, like I'm rolling down off a wall. Good, and roll back up. And again, let the head just relax down between the arms, but keep the arms and the legs active. Restack the spine. One more time. Even work through both legs, pulling the tummy back in opposition and rolling up nice and tall. Relax the arms. Great, we're going to go into open leg rocker prep. So take hold of your ankles, rock just onto your tailbone, lift the chest and really draw the shoulder blades down the backs. They're not going to lift anymore. We're going to keep those shoulder blades anchored. Keep the tummy in, take one leg up and down. Take the other leg up and down. Both legs. We're going to lift up and down. We'll start with the other leg. One and down. The tummy is in. Although the legs are doing all this fancy choreography, both legs, we're really keeping a super active tilt and tuck of the pelvis, even breath, and a super long spine. So what we would never want to do is sink back into our C curve. We want to be lifted up and away from it. Keep going, alternating sides, stretching the hamstrings to wherever your hamstrings want to go, and then you're going to hold the legs at the top. Now, can you pull your tailbone underneath you a little bit more as you lift your chest? Bring the legs together and slide them apart. Slide them together, tummy in, slide them apart. And again, your legs might be a little bit bent, that's absolutely fine, but your arms are going to be straight. One more time. Great. And let's just take the legs back together. See if you can take hold of your feet, give your heels a little stretch, really nice. Bend the legs back in. And bring the soles of the feet together. Just let the legs butterfly out. Perfect. And we're going to come down onto our back and do a little hip roll or tick-tock. So we're preparing sort of for the corkscrew eventually. But because this is level one, we're not going to go straight into that. We're going to go into our tick-tock. So arms down by the side or into your handles. Take the legs up towards the ceiling. If you need a little micro bend in the knee, that's okay, but make sure that you are drawing your abdominals into the mat. Not squeezing your butt, but drawing your abdominals in. Now, see if you can activate your feet a little bit and point them by actually activating the underneath of the feet. Alrighty, so from there, you're going to take the legs over to one side as you inhale and pull them back to center on the exhale. Other side, shoulders broad, chest is anchored, a little tick-tock. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So I'm actually picking one hip up and then pulling it back down. But each time I do that, I'm trying to maintain the length across that side of the waist. So I'm not shortening to bring my hip down. I'm keeping the hip long. And it's going to be the same as we build up to our tick-tock. Later, we keep the length in the waist. Good. If you need to keep the range smaller, you keep the range smaller, but really I want you to feel like hellfire work in your abs. You know you're doing it right. All right, let's just bend the knees in, just jiggle the hips out, let everything relax, let the bones get nice and heavy again. Perfect, and let's roll up onto our front and take a little swan prep. So we're not going to do any swan dive today, we're just doing a level one, so we're going to work at the articulation of the spine, but we're going to be thinking about the whole of the body in this. So we're not just moving the spine up and down, we've got strong active legs so we can open the whole front line of the body. Take your hands just in line with your shoulders, let your elbows draw back, press the front of the feet into the mat. My legs are about hip width apart. If you can get your legs closer together, that's fine. Open the throat, open the chest, keep the legs still as you wheel up. bend your elbows and pull your spine forward in between your arms. And again, use the breath. Inhale. And exhale. So, I like so much in Pilates, really, the attitude is going to be what makes the exercise really sing. So by that I mean, I'm thinking of that sort of the yogic kind of glorious extension where you're lifting your chest and you're bending your spine. So it's not so much about necessarily stretching, but rather bending and rolling down. The arms don't need to come straight. The arms are just there to sort of guide me. Because remember, we're going to be taking the arms away soon. So we've got to prepare the back muscles and the back of the leg muscles. Just take one or two more. And remember, your extension might look quite different to mine. That's A-okay. Just listen to what your body's doing. If you've got some sort of funky thing happening, then maybe go back a few steps, work out how you can iron that, so that when you move forward, you're doing so with integrity. All right, let's take a little stretch back. Sitting on the heels, lengthening and releasing the spine. Great. Roll up. Okay, so we're going to go into our single leg kick. So here, I'm going to get you to think of pressing down on the elbows. I'll do it with my arms in a sort of 11 shape today. Elbows are going to be under my shoulders, and the pull back of the arms is going to help me extend and lift my chest forward. So remember, in this exercise and the exercises that are in the same shape, we're looking to eventually maybe go into rocking or into a high bridge. So even though I'm on my front and I'm preparing for single leg kick, I'm thinking of those same shapes that can be coming later on in the sequence, later on as I advance my practice. And I'm going to be thinking, how can I start to activate those muscles that I need later on? So pressing down as I extend, bend my upper back and lift the chest. And the legs, as you can see, just off the floor. And they're very, very active. I'm going to keep them active as I kick and switch, kick and switch, kick and switch. Now, this took me a long time to be able to bring my legs in without actually rocking in my pelvis and spine. Because the back of my legs like to have a little break whenever they can. And I need to really focus and concentrate, maybe make the movements smaller so that I can engage the back of my legs and hamstrings. When I do that properly, it actually feels really, really great on my knees and my legs. When I compromise, it feels sore on my knees, and obviously over time it would feel sore in your back. So take a couple more. Good. And then release all the way back down. So let's come and take another little rest position again. When you're doing your advanced mat sequence, you don't get these rest breaks. The following exercises will be what your body needs to counter stretch. But because we're building up, because we don't want to create tension and soreness in the body, we're just going to allow ourselves these little breaks as we're learning, we're progressing. Same with your clients. You've really got to work with what you've got rather than what you want. So listening to the body is really key. Okay, so we're going to go skipping ahead through our classical mat sequence into the sideline. And for this preparation, I'm going to keep my top arm down. Bearing in mind, remember, our full sideline is going to be both hands behind the head. So I'm going to keep this top arm down so that I can really focus on the leg moving and make sure that I'm not stressed in my shoulders and my upper back. So tummy's going to be in, and you're going to exhale, take the leg back, extend the leg, maybe a little bit of spinal extension, no movement or arching in the upper back. Inhale and exhale. So I want you to think about the underneath leg and actively press it down into the bench as you're moving. And ideally, as that leg goes forward and back, you're not sort of counterbalancing with your upper body. And the more you can micromanage that at this stage, the quicker your strength will build. So sometimes it's nice to practice this exercise super slowly so that you can make sure you're stabilizing properly and not doing what I'm doing, which is sort of cheating by pressing with my arm as my leg goes forward. Eventually, it's really the powerhouse which keeps you stable. Good. All right, so from there, lower down a little bit so my waist is long. Keep reaching out through that underneath leg and turn the top leg out. We'll go into our kicks up and reach down. So we want our waist to be long, and for me, a nice accessible way of doing that is by having the leg kicking slightly in front of the underneath leg. When it's back, there's a little bit more of a restriction for me, so I don't have super mobile hips. And some of that's just anatomical, the joint shape. And some of that's just muscle stiffness. And you're going to find that with your clients. You might have to sort of adjust where the kick is of the leg. All right, from there we'll go into our circles. So every time I take a break in between the different side kick exercises, I check in with my posture, try and make sure I'm lengthening but not bracing, find my breath. Let's take our circles back today. We're going to do 8. Back, pressing down on that underneath leg, reaching up and away with that top leg, and seeing if I can get a little bit longer, which is going to help with that stability. And then I'm going to reverse the circles, trying to keep still in the shoulders, still in the center. Find that lovely breath to make sure that I'm keeping that suppleness in my body as I'm building strength. Last 2. And 1. Great. We'll relax that leg down. Come on to the other side. And then finding your position, lining up at the back of the mat with your spine. The top hand can come down. Long, long, long. Lift up on this elbow so I'm nice and straight and strong. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So you might find that both of the sides of your body work quite evenly, but most people don't. Most people have one side that's stronger, one side that's a little bit less connected to their brain. And so it's really nice for this asymmetrical work is we're getting a chance to check in. So each time your body is talking to you, you need to listen and you need to respond to that. And that's what's quite difficult with the classical mats, because especially as you get to the more advanced work, you don't have so much time to stop and check in. So part of the skill is going to be to quickly respond to what your body's doing and listen. So we're going to do 2 more. Lift and lowers. And then take that leg back. And because now we know the exercises, we've done them on one side and going a little bit quicker through them on the other side with you. But eventually, obviously, we're going to be looking at even pace through all the exercises. Great, keeping that hip as still as I can, lengthening, and then reversing, little circles. So really reaching right out through that foot, stabilising with that underneath leg. Last couple there. Great, and release down. Okay, we're going to go onto our back for our teaser prep series. So start with the knees bent, and then have the feet a little further away than you would usually have them, sort of spine curls or anything. Check that the knees are level again. Check that the waist is long on both sides. I'm going to take the arm down by the side. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, squeeze your legs together, that will help. Roll the spine up, lift the chest. And then roll the spine down, don't let your head poke forward and back. The head stays on top of the spine. And we go again, collarbones wide, wheel, lift, and roll. Keep the head back, And control the descent. Let's keep going. So, we're all grown-ups, we're all understanding of Pilates and how our body works. So again, I'm going to ask you to check in, to see if maybe one leg is not really pressing against the other leg. Maybe there's a certain part of your spine that's not wheeling up. And the reason we do these preps is to allow ourselves to fix those little issues as they come up. Okay, straighten one leg, keep the other leg bent. We're going to do the same thing, rolling up. We're looking for sequential movement of the spine, not to get up or to get down, but to sequentially move the spine. Change legs, using the breath to roll up, using the breath to lift, using the breath to control, using the breath to release. Let's just do one more on each side, squeezing the back of the legs, the inside thighs, articulating, lifting, and releasing down. And the other side. Notice I'm not letting my tailbone lift here. I'm still keeping that tuck of the tailbone as I lift. And then roll back down. Great, let's stretch the legs out, stretch the arms out. I'm going to get you to take your legs over to one side of your mat. Take your arms over to that same side. Cross that top ankle, have a little side stretch. Breathe into the ribs. And then let's just do the same thing on the other side. Just cross your ankles to the side, your arms to the side, maybe giving that top arm a little pull, stretch and lengthen the waist. And then come back to center. All right, let's all meet on our front for some swimming prep. So arms are long, legs are long. Think of yourself like in a number 11 and reach your limbs as far away from your center as you can. Drag your shoulders down, lift your chest. I'm going to leave my arms down today and just work at the kick of the legs. So lift the legs, keep the tummy lifted as well, and then kick, 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 kick. So the movement is quick, but the breath is slow. My dog is wagging his tail, which means I must be doing something right. Great, okay, just rest the body down. Now I'm going to leave my legs down. I'm going to see if I can lift my arms, a lot harder for me. Lifting the arms, paddle, 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 inhale, exhale. So I have to think about really reaching into my extension. Maybe the gaze should be down. Keeping long and strong with the legs, and release down. Let's try and piece it all together. Draw the shoulders down, lift the chest, lift the legs, and paddle, inhale, and exhale. Long, strong. Good, one more set. And releasing down. After that, you can sit back onto the heels. My favourite calf, ankle, Achilles, low back stretch. Just rocking forward and back on the toes. Maybe coming into a little Joe's pose, so tucking the toes, taking hold of the ankles, pulling the abdominal wall in, and just breathing there. A little pressure into the heels to help to open out my low back. All right, just relaxing the feet. And we're going to come up to do a little seal. So nice rocking exercise before we do our final plank. So take hold of your feet. Let's get soles of the feet together. Shoulders down. Bring your legs in as close as you can to your body. And as always, feel the press of the arms against the legs and the legs against the arms. So just holding this position, I've got a nice kind of energized feeling. Clap 3 times, roll back, clap 3 times, roll forward. Now if you can't hold your position on your shoulders, just don't clap, just roll. Yeah? And making sure that you just come onto the back of the shoulders, as with all the rolling exercises, and not onto the neck. This is to open up the hips, massage the spine again. If this doesn't work for you, just do your rolling like a ball again. Any prep for rolling like a ball. So you're still getting that same massage of the spine, which we might need by now. All right, so we're just going to go into a final plank. And let's just chuck in some press ups, because we need to build up to those. So I'm going to just do my roll down here and then get onto my mat for my plank, but hopefully you've just got a mat, you can do the whole thing in one. Big breath in. Exhaling, nod the head, just like my roll downs at the beginning of the mat. My legs are going to stay still and I'm going to move my spine, bend my spine over my long, strong legs. And then from there, you'll be walking out, 1, 2, 3, 4, into your plank. So just take a couple of breaths here and see if you can just check left leg's working, right leg's working, left arm's working, right arm's working, head away from heels, tummy in, breath is full. All right, so from there, let's just do a little micro bend where your chest is going to go forward, you're going to rock onto the front of the toes, and you're going to straighten. Let's do that 2 more times. A little bend, you go forward, and you go back. 1 more time, forward, and back. Great, let's lift the hips, drop the heels. Let's bring our heels together, toes apart, walk the hands back, and you're going to wheel the spine up. So that you don't lose me, I'll meet you standing at the front. Let's just take 2 more roll downs. I'm not going to do any more planks to finish, just to neutralize the spine and stretch the back. So collarbones wide. Inhale, just hover the heels. Exhale, dive the head. And try and articulate the spine. This is your chance to enjoy the articulation of the spine. Don't work too hard. Rolling down, downward dog. Breathe in. Exhale, squeeze your heels. Let your tailbone drop down towards your heels. Roll the spine up. My heels are still off the floor. Collarbones are wide. I'm going to lift a little bit more into a releve. And then I'm going to lower my heels down. This time I'm going to do it with my heels down, but I'm going to keep that same energy, that emphasis that the weight's forward on the toes. So breathing in and rolling the spine down. Diving, diving, diving down. Keeping the pelvis level as long as I can. Stretching, releasing. I'm going to take my legs into parallel, put the palms of my hands on the floor, bend the knees as I breathe in. And then exhale, so I'm going to do a handstand, straighten the legs like you did an elephant. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Walking the hands back, heels together, roll up. And then finally, just rolling the shoulders back, giving yourself a good stretch. Really nice.